I can't even fake it. Hey guys. I don't care anymore. Do you care? We'll talk about it, but I just don't care. I don't. I'm sorry.
Show of hands, how many people are disappointed with how the season's going? It's just so depressing to see such good potential. That's the problem. It's like,
it's the potential.
They fooled me. They really had me fooled. They were like, they announced the cast list, and I was like, okay. And then I started watching them play, and I was like, hold on, they're kind of coming to play. I'm liking, the games, the scheming.
Until Todrick decided, like, I don't even know. He's like not a good person.
And at this point, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of Todrick, but I'm more so irritated at Cynthia and Carson to an extent on just how
dumb.
And like, I'm not gonna try to be super mean, but like the level of stupidity to have believed Todrick and Misha in this situation to now get rid of one of your numbers. And then I know everyone's going to be like, well, but they think that Todrick and Misha are like with them. And I'm like, that's the problem. Why in the world would you think that you would
ever believe
he nominated you twice? It's like the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Like, I don't understand what the fuck the point of this was. So
like, your worst enemy comes up to you and is like, gives you some bullshit like, no, I'm sorry, like, your best friend is really an asshole, so like we should be friends. And you're just like, you know what, that makes sense. Like, all is completely forgiven, and I'm gonna turn on the only other person that I trust, just, you know what, based on the words of a proven liar. That seems truthful. She's just calm when she talks to me. She has to be telling the truth.
I just don't believe that she could be lying in this situation.
Well, you're gonna feel real retarded when you realize that's all she did was fucking lie to you.
It's just so ridiculous to the point of like, I don't care about the game. I hope Shanna wins America's favorite player, and I hope that we move on.
That would be awesome, but I feel like it would end up being Carson.
No, I hope not. Even if he redeems himself, I'm just like, this is such a big like blind spot.
Patrick and Shanna did so much for him. Like,
Chris literally volunteered basically to go out for Cynthia to just be like, Shanna, you've been playing us. Oh my God.
She's like, and it's the like, they really feel like
they're right.
They're so right. Like, my gut, I'm like, just, I know. And it's like, roll the tapes. And I really hope that they're not like just so delusional that they even watch it and are just like, well, it could be out of context. No, you're wrong. You are dead wrong. You look so stupid. It's embarrassing as fuck. It's literally like nails. It's like, I get secondhand embarrassment. You know, when you watch something and like you almost can't watch it because like you feel what they should be like, this is so cringe. This is like nails on a chalkboard. What? No. It's like in the Scary Movie when the person's like, I'm gonna run back into the house with the killer. Why? Like Cardi B said, what was the reason? No, and it's like, and Todrick and Misha really didn't even, to be honest with you, I've seen people plea way more, tell better lies, like come across.
It wasn't even that, like, that's what blows my mind.
Shit. All he did was go like, hey, so Shanna was talking to us before, and like she wanted you out, and like we had a final four with her, and they're like, oh, that's so true. And Todrick's like,
it was literally a conversation in the bathroom, and Cynthia thought it was like the biggest fucking reveal in the world of like, dude, this is some serious dirt. Like, we got to get her out.
She is evil. And then even when Shanna's trying to talk to them, like they did not entertain her at all. They didn't even give her a chance. She tried to talk to
Cynthia
them.
especially.
Oh yeah, she was
Cynthia
like
went from like my biggest potential like house guest to now I literally hope that you get evicted immediately after. I don't even know anymore.
it just doesn't even make sense.
And
It's literally like she it's like Shanna went and slept with her husband or something. Like she is so disgusted. She's so mad. She's an evil person.
she's pulling a Todd, even though she just went through that with Todd. And the difference is, like, Shanna literally did nothing to betray Cynthia. Like, she clearly was playing both sides, but like they admitted to that multiple times and they eventually chose your side. So for you to go to the opposite side and believe them on this stupid lie, it is literally one of the dumbest moves to have
Big
worked in this game. Like, and it
and
just makes me irritated.
the fact that it worked and Todger can seem like I mastermind something is crazy because he didn't do anything. It should not have worked at all. Like, why would you not question what someone that wants you out and has lied to you is saying versus someone that's been honest with you is saying? It's like the liar, I believe, don't even need to think about it. The person that is like on my side and I just heard something about, there's no way that that's not true. What? Like,
and at this point also, the amount of comments that I've just been seeing where like Todd's like, you know, Shanna wouldn't have exited like that if she was telling the truth. That's how you know that we were right. I'm like, you guys are so bought into the fact that you're right that it's so cringe to watch. Like I literally, like, I don't even look at live feeds anymore. I can barely read the Twitter updates because I'm like, the amount of just like dumb stuff that they're saying, that they're
like
so,
they
they
really
think they're
thought
so right. And it just pains me so much. And another thing is at this point, and like, I don't even know how like true I believe it, but like, I'd rather Todrick or Misha win at this point than Carson, Cynthia, anyone else. Because at this point, they fell for their stupid lie. It was a stupid lie, but it worked on them. So they deserve the win.
Yeah,
Carson and Cynthia are irrelevant to me right now. I may like them more personally than Todrick and Misha, but in the game, you can go. You can get evicted this week. I do not.
How do you turn on the people that did everything for you? And not even just
pulled you off the block the previous week, and you're like, no, yeah,
I'm gonna backdoor her.
I think, you know. Anyway, let's just talk about
Todrick's little speech was one of the like most arrogant speeches, and then Misha's speech was arrogant, and then the rest of the house is just like, we got this, bitch. And Shayna's just like, okay, love my family, thank you for the opportunity, CBS. Like I would not have been that classy. And her hugging only two people and then telling Todrick, I'm gonna make the jury turn on you, and people being like, that is like the house guest being like, see, she's a bitch. Like she did nothing. She was attacked so much. The fact that she even
that's all she did. That's all she did. That's not even that bad. And it's Todrick, you know, Todrick was worried because he immediately has to respond.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because it's like, she doesn't have to make the jury turn on you. Every single person that's gotten evicted gets
to go home.
Well, they get to see stuff, but they also were already mad at Todrick. Like they were already over him.
Especially Chris Kirkpatrick and Teddy now, like
the way that he spoke to them. You just don't need to take it there. Ever in the game does it need to get like super personal and evil. Just play the game. But like Todrick just like, that's the thing too, is like I've never really liked him. Like I couldn't pinpoint what it was. Like I thought he was talented, right? He's talented, but there was something about him I don't know. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not wrong. Cause look at like the energy he gives off is just so negative. He's just it gives like evilness and just like he's probably, to be honest with you, usually where this comes from, if I want to be like mature about it, is like he has a hatred inside for himself. He needs to work on self-love because the way he attacks other people is a reflection of how he feels about himself. Like he's clearly, like not a happy person. Like you don't treat people like that. And I was watching, I think it was like Mad Rose or whatever, that person on YouTube, and she was saying something about how like now Misha, like we don't like Misha either, but it's like, do we think that like she's being influenced by Todrick? Like I feel like Todrick, they were saying, like brings out the worst in her. And I really do. Like when they get together and when you like bond with somebody and you're that close and that person is kind of like telling you what to do and they're just spewing negativity all the time, you become negative as well. And it's just like, ugh.
Another thing too is, I mean, people who watch live feeds, obviously there's this whole different dialogue than the people who just watch the show.
So different.
If you're watching the show, you wouldn't realize Todrick's a bad person because he's getting the good edit right now. I know that he probably knows people with Big Brother's production and that he was already kind of a favorite when like meeting everyone from the previous season, but like
100%.
It's just so aggravating that it's constantly happening with Big Brother where they'll update the show and slyly kind of twist things to make it look like Todrick isn't doing anything that bad, or like make it look like his move was bigger than it actually was. And maybe it's just because Cynthia and Carson were stupid and didn't realize that that was a dumb move. So again, you go on the show, you have to be willing to accept the criticism from people watching. Obviously, you can't satisfy everyone. You can't play a perfect game.
No.
It's just when things like this happen, it just makes watching it on feeds. Thank God this season's short because we didn't have to deal with Shanna being like isolated the entire week.
Yeah, that would have been, because like
she already was. She would literally like join like a room and be like, guys, I'm bored, like can I join you? And they would just be like so distant and like not give a fuck.
That's and it's literally like, it's bullying. They were bullying her. Like even at the end of the day, let's say all those things about her were true, she's still about to go home and it still was a game. That's what I'm saying. Cynthia's not treating it like it's a game. She's literally treating it like this is her real life and Carson is her husband and Shayna like tried to sleep with him. And she just like, I can't mess with someone like that. Like that's not how deep it is. Even if what Todrick and Misha were saying was true, it's not. But if it was, the way the treatment of her is just like, that's not, it's way over the top. It's absolutely ridiculous. They should be honestly disgusted with themselves when they find out the truth. And I just think a lot of people don't like to take accountability, so I don't know if they'll accept it.
They'll be like, wow, we were really fooled, or like they'll push it off on Todrick and Misha instead of
like they'll be like
falling for it in the first place.
Exactly. Like they'll just be like, wow, we were really fooled, that's crazy, but like you guys don't understand, feeds cut, like you don't know what like they were saying to us. Like no, we saw they always try to pull that on stuff when it's like, no, we actually did see it though. We did see this one. We know exactly what was said.
And honestly, you already know our thoughts on this episode, but
it's
like Shannon never getting picked for veto was basically like signed, sealed, delivered. She's going home.
Oh yeah.
So I was more so just interested to see how her exit was going to go. And I appreciated her exit. I'll say that.
She was so classy about it. Like, I think she just realized it was so ridiculous. I don't need to say anything. If you have common sense and you've seen it, people are going to be on my side. So I don't have to sit here and even like try to give reason to make someone like understand me, like it's gonna be a given.
And it disappoints
God,
me
God
that we
bless.
don't get to see her continue playing in this game. She won 2 of the 3 vetoes that she played in.
Yeah.
And
She was doing good in other HOH comps too. She was up there, you know, she was.
and the fact now that we have to just continue to watch Lamar, who's still asking about how veto works, that we have to deal with Todrick and Misha, which honestly, I don't mind Misha. The whole beginning part of the season, I was not really liking the way she was dealing with the Teddy thing. But since then, I'm like, okay, I just dislike Todrick more. Whatever.
Yeah, but when they're together, it's gross.
It's like 2 mean girls together.
Yeah, just playing solitaire all the time. Like, oh my God.
I understand why Lamar tore up the cards, because apparently that was like the biggest deal in the world to Todrick, of like, Lamar, why would you tear up the cards? Like, that wasn't even funny. And like people were making it like a big deal.
Well,
like, it's
they're
kind of
Celebrity
funny.
Big Brother, so I'm pretty sure if they ask production for another pair, they'll give them another pair. It's not the regular season. In a regular season, that would have like, we don't have cards anymore. You ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like the celebrities aren't treated the same. Can we talk about Lamar's voting? I'm just gonna say this, you can edit it out if you want, but this is how I feel. Like Whitney Houston said, crack is whack. What are you doing? And Julie like will not put her foot down when it comes to the celebrities. If it was a regular house guest, she'd been like, okay, hurry up. With Lamar, she was just like, can you hear me? We're live. Can you hear me? What is he doing? He's literally leaving his DNA all over the room. He's looking at it, picking it up, playing with it. Like, these are things you do when no one's watching you. If you're like into that, like, you don't do that. Like, what are you? And then every other thing is, I miss Chloe. So do I. She got a whole new face and body. She's not even the bitch you married. Missed who? Miss what? Miss where? It doesn't exist anymore. She traded it in.
I literally,
new person.
If they cast a basketball player, this is all I'm going to say to the Big Brother people who may come across this video. You cast another basketball player, I'm not watching the season. I'm not. I can't. It was funny at first, and I'm going to be very specific. The first time Meta voted,
I vote Chuck.
I vote Chuck. After that, it was just sad. And then he talked about wanting to go home. And then they all talk about being depressed and wanting to go back to their family. I'm like, dude, you're here for 3.5 weeks.
And you're getting paid and you're getting exposure. You're on national television like 3 times a week, plus live feeds that people can watch. Like Todrick, I guess, made some comment about being like this isn't like a great career move for me. Like, I'm wasting time being in the. What? This is the most exposure you've ever had. And you managed to make.
The only thing that's bad is now you're getting exposed for everything you're saying in the house. That's where it was bad. But he didn't even think about that.
No, he's not thinking about that at all. He thinks he's too good for it. When he can barely win a comp, he won a veto that didn't fucking matter.
A veto also where everyone else was just being completely dumb and was like, they literally gave them the first puzzle piece.
Scotty, it was like 5-piece puzzle. They had the first piece down and outlined the second piece. 5 or 6 pieces, whatever. So you either had to do 4 or 3 more pieces. Like, what?
I think we're good. I think we're good with like our disdain for this episode. If you're watching this from the future, just know how bad it was.
And just skip it. It's not even worth it. It's not worth it. It's literally.
What's even more sad right now is that we only have a week left of this game.
Thank God.
It's just so sad that all of the players that I was actually excited to watch and were playing are either getting evicted for no reason or are becoming stupid and just letting Misha win the game, because
It's
I know Todrick's not going
what
to get
Chris
it.
Kirkpatrick didn't want to happen. It's exactly why he was willing to put his game on the line, because as a fan of the show, he didn't like what he was watching and he didn't think it was any good. So I'll sacrifice myself to make a change, and it was for fucking nothing. For
Cynthia
nothing.
is irrelevant. I don't care about her. Carson is really disappointing me. He might be able to turn it around, in my opinion, if he somehow manages to make it to the end. But even then, he needs to turn on Todrick or Misha. If he's buddy-buddy with them up until the end, I'm literally not going to care.
I'm just going to be very disappointed. And I just know that he's a good person. So I really think that he'll watch it and be very, whether we ever know about it or not, he'll be very upset with himself. So I have hope for him, like, as a person. Cynthia, I feel like, is just like in denial. Like, she's never going to realize it. Like, she might legitimately hate Shanna for the rest of her life because of some shit in the game that wasn't even true. Like, she gives me those vibes right now, and I'm just like, it's unnecessary. But you stay with your cheating husband, allegedly. But we're mad at Shanna. We can, and then I care about this, but I don't care about that. And I can't. So at this point, it's just like, let's get through this week. I'm going to go with Shanna. I don't even like Todd Bridges, but go Todd Bridges. Let's go. Spoiler.
Even though Todd is literally talking badly about Shanna.
Yeah.
It's fine. Shanna literally also, because Julie was like, so did you mean that? Like, are you really going to talk to like the other evicted house guests and not get them to vote Todrick? She was like, no, I don't give a fuck. They can do what they want.
She was like, I can't control people. Like, I can't control other people.
But the threat was given.
It was enough to just make him upset.
Scare him.
Like, then they were saying now, like, see, she is evil. And it's like, at that point, she couldn't win no matter what she said. So at least she got to give a little bit of shade or a dig. You know, it bothered the hell out of Todrick for someone that really thought, like he really tries to act like he's so big and bad. Like, what, like, one little comment like that really freaking upset him. And I think it's hilarious.
I think that's a good.
Yeah. We're done.
A good point.
We're done. Like, comment, share, subscribe to find out whatever the fuck else happens.